Am I throwing rockets? These are missiles, yeah? These are fucking missiles.
You should have you sign the walls.
Yeah, for sure. No problem. I love that, yeah.
I do not believe that Conor makes it to the White House. Let's just live with that theory, though. Will Conor be able to manipulate the media even after he doesn't make it? He has pretended that he's coming back for 5 years. If the White House comes and goes, can he pretend, oh, I didn't come there, but you'll see me in November. You'll see me next January. Or will that be the final ruse of McGregor?
I think you are one of the few people that still believe Conor at times. You don't. Most people don't, but you do. I remember that one time where I was laughing at you. I was like, chill. You're like the girlfriend, man, that just keeps going back every time. Dude, he's just a bad guy. Like, you know he doesn't deserve you. But every time he calls, you're like, you know what? Maybe he's changed. No, chill. Only you.
Conor McGregor is training like his life depends on it, and he doesn't even have an opponent yet. While everyone's debating who has the guts to face him, McGregor's in the gym grinding as if the biggest fight of his career is already signed and sealed. And here's what's wild. The whispers are getting louder about something absolutely unprecedented. We're talking about a White House card. Yes, you heard that right. The most powerful venue in the world might host what could become the most historic combat sports event ever witnessed. The energy is building. The speculation is running completely wild across every corner of social media, and one burning question remains. Who actually has the courage to step forward and face McGregor on a stage this massive? Because let me tell you, what's happening behind the scenes is way bigger than anyone's talking about publicly.
Agree to the terms of the White House card.
You know, I'm not negotiating with the UFC on behalf of myself for this fight, like usual. I'm negotiating with the United States of America on behalf of Ireland for this fight. So it's a peculiar one. But Trump and the administration have been fully supportive and backing, and I cannot wait.
Now here's where it gets absolutely fascinating. Dana White, the man who usually can't shut up about his fighters, is being mysteriously quiet about this whole thing. He's giving those classic Dana shrugs whenever anyone brings up McGregor's return, acting like nothing's happening. But listen, all the signs point to something completely different. While White's playing it cool in public, McGregor's training like a man possessed, and the behind-the-scenes whispers are screaming that this White House card isn't just possible, it's inevitable. This isn't Dana being unsure about anything. This is strategic silence before announcing something that's going to break the internet. Think about it. When has Dana White ever been this calculated about keeping his mouth shut? The man who built his empire on hype and trash talk is suddenly playing chess instead of checkers. And that tells you everything you need to know about the magnitude of what's coming.
Definitely. So you don't see any world that like Conor comes back? I know there was like him on the billboards with Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if Conor's going to come back or not. You know, we've been talking about it for a while. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I don't know.
But here's the kicker. When people start throwing out potential opponents, Dana's getting picky in ways we've never seen before. He's completely dismissing the long-rumored McGregor versus Michael Chandler fight, saying it's old news and not worthy of a White House event. Let that sink in for a second. Dana White just said a Conor McGregor fight isn't big enough for this venue. That's how massive they're planning to go. Other legendary names get tossed around: John Jones, elite welterweights, former champions, but each one comes with its own complex problems. Jones has his legal issues, other fighters have scheduling conflicts, and some just don't move the needle enough for an event of this historical significance. The message from Dana is crystal clear. Star power is absolutely essential, but it's only valuable if the fight can actually happen and deliver on the unprecedented hype they're building.
in Conor, do you see like that as like a realistic thing?
No,
happening?
I mean, that was a couple years ago.
Yeah, so that's not nothing you'd entertain for the
No.
White House.
No.
And I saw recently too that Joe Rogan was saying that you should just have Alex fight John Jones at the White House. Is that something you feel like?
At 205?
I mean, yeah, I guess, or
Yeah, I mean, that would be a fight, but can I count on John Jones?
yeah.
Can't have John.
And get this, while Dana's keeping everything locked down tighter than Fort Knox, Eric Trump is doing the complete opposite. He's openly talking about having the sport's biggest stars headline this historic White House card like it's already a done deal. When he mentions John Jones, it's not speculation. He's talking about him like the perfect fighter to answer the call for such a symbolically massive moment. And when McGregor's name comes up, Eric Trump talks about him like his involvement isn't just probable, it's the most natural outcome in the world. He's even hinting that McGregor and Jones might both be on the same card. Now listen, when comments like these are coming from someone with direct access to the venue itself, this stops being fan wishful thinking and starts being legitimate momentum building right in front of our eyes. Every single statement from Trump's camp makes this event feel less like a pipe dream and more like an unstoppable force heading straight for June 14th.
Like, let's say John Jones comes back, he fights Johnson Almeida. He was like, you know what? I want to be on the White House card. What do I got to do? They're like, okay, you fight the winner of Volkov versus Johnson Almeida. Bet. And then he beats Johnson Almeida. Then it's okay, perfect. You're going to fight the winner of XYZ on the White House. Perfect. I'm all for it. But I just don't like when somebody's iced, sitting there chilling. They get to pick and choose what they do. Maybe they earn that right. I have no idea, right? But for me, I want to see guys who are putting the fucking, rubber to the pavement. Whether in all the accomplishment John Jones has done, it's amazing. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that if we got guys who are on the roster who are fucking fighting their asses off, they should have the first dibs to get on the White House. Even for Conor, we don't need his ass on the White House, right? But I know him and Donald Trump, they got some good things going. But I just don't want to see other athletes miss out on an opportunity.
Hold up though, because not everyone's buying into the hype train. Demetrius Johnson, one of the greatest fighters who ever lived, is calling complete nonsense on giving Conor McGregor and John Jones automatic spots on this card. Mighty Mouse is arguing that fighters who are grinding right now, putting in work every single day and actually taking fights, deserve priority over established stars who are picking and choosing their moments. And you know what? He's got a point that's making people uncomfortable. Why should McGregor, who hasn't fought in almost 5 years, get handed the biggest stage in combat sports history? Why should John Jones, who fights once every 18 months, get priority over hungry contenders who are active and earning their shots? It's a powerful argument for merit over pure star power, and it's the kind of reality check that has promoters and fighters alike questioning whether legends should get to skip the line just because their names sell pay-per-views.
Now, another big name that you've been linked with over the years, and there was very big rumours about you and Conor McGregor. I know Umar Kremlev has said that he wants to maybe stage that fight one day in Russia. Do you think that would ever happen, you boxing Conor McGregor, or you having a crossover fight with Conor McGregor?
Oh yeah, that's possible also with Conor McGregor. Depends, but as long as I can still fight.
And then just final one from me, similar to Conor McGregor, have Khabib Nurmagomedov, who is of course a massive star in MMA, an undefeated fighter. If you had the choice between fighting Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov, who would you fight and why?
McGregor.
And why would it be McGregor and not Khabib?
Too much.
Do you prefer that?
I want to shut his mouth out.
Do you prefer that somebody like Khabib is very humble, is a very religious man? You prefer that type of person?
He's a nice guy. He's a nice person, humble, and that's an inspiration. A good role model for sport.
But wait, it gets even crazier. Manny Pacquiao just stepped into this conversation with the most audacious pitch you've ever heard. He wants a White House boxing match with Conor McGregor. Not MMA, not some hybrid rules, straight-up boxing on the White House lawn. And this isn't just about the challenge or the historic nature of the venue. Pacquiao's making this personal. He's openly stated this is about loyalty to his friend Khabib Nurmagomedov, and he wants to make McGregor prove himself all over again. Think about the implications here. One of boxing's greatest legends, at 45 years old, is calling out McGregor for what would essentially be a revenge fight on behalf of the man who already dominated Conor. Every new voice joining this conversation makes the event feel less like speculation and more like an inevitable collision course that's going to reshape combat sports forever.
You turn to Michael Chandler. It's very hard for me to believe that Conor McGregor is going to return and that anybody else get that opportunity. I feel if we're going by what the right thing to do, and we don't have to do that, by the way. The right thing to do has got 20 different answers, not to mention what difference does it make, right? I mean, these aren't children where you're trying to do it right in Little League and everybody gets a turn to bat. It's not like that. But if it was, I think it would have to be Chandler, or at least Chandler would have to sure be considered. And you're also going to have to take into consideration to some degree, like, we don't need Conor to win. We're not even expecting him to win. We're a little bit further. We acknowledge there's no way that Conor can win. And you're putting him in a beyond silly situation. We have never returned somebody after a 4-year break.
Now listen to this reality check from Chael Sonnen that's going to blow your mind. Sonnen admits it's hard to picture anyone other than McGregor getting the main event spotlight, but here's his concern, and it's a big one. McGregor isn't the same fighter he was 5 years ago, and everyone knows it. Stack him against the wrong opponent, someone who can decisively beat him, and you risk turning this historic White House card into a complete disaster. Sonnen's pointing out something promoters don't want to hear. This isn't about competitive fairness or giving the best fighter the biggest stage. This is about creating an unforgettable spectacle without completely embarrassing your biggest star on the world's most watched stage. The White House card isn't just another fight night. It's a calculated risk where the wrong matchmaking could turn a historic celebration into a public relations nightmare that haunts the sport for decades.
Michael, the more we learn about, Conor's side of things here, I feel like this fight maybe not happening between you two there, it has less to do with you and probably more to do with him and his situation. Is that maybe, I don't know, making you more okay or digest this better to seem like he has a lot to figure out before he even gets back in the cage?
Yeah, never has anything to do with me, man. I'm the most reliable, most professional man in mixed martial arts, maybe in the history of mixed martial arts. So when I sign my name to a dotted line, I show up and do the work every single day. With that being said, there's still some hope there that maybe that fight happens. We shall see, but we're having some conversations, and either way, I will be on the White House.
And here's where Michael Chandler drops some truth that changes everything. He's making it crystal clear that any delays or uncertainty about his potential fight with McGregor isn't on him, not even a little bit. In Chandler's words, the ball is completely in McGregor's court, and whatever hurdles still exist are Conor's to overcome. But here's what's guaranteed and set in stone. Michael Chandler will be fighting on the White House card June 14th, regardless of how the McGregor situation plays out. Think about what that means. The UFC is so confident this event is happening that they're already booking fighters and making promises. Chandler's emphasizing his unwavering readiness, saying he'll show up in peak condition whenever that contract gets signed. But he's also leaving just enough hope that the marquee matchup could still happen, noting that conversations are ongoing behind the scenes. The man's basically saying, I'll fight McGregor if he wants it, but I'm not waiting around forever.
Hear anything, but Dana was very clear, like the matchmaking was going to start last week. Have you been involved in at least conversations since that point?
Conversations have been had, but we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out, Mike.
Yeah, and you're open to anyone. I feel like you just want to fight on that card.
Yeah, man. So we'll see.
And what would that mean? Would that be you won some big fights? It doesn't matter who the guy is, but like, can you think of what that moment can be like? I mean, President Trump is out there saying all crazy things about 100,000 people. It's going to be insane and unique and one of a kind. Walking out from the Oval Office, can you even fathom and picture this moment yet?
Not really, man. It is historic, and it's a one of one type of event. It will never happen again. Could never happen again, probably. So, it's cool, man. It's a bright future. It's a really, really cool event. It's America's 250th anniversary, so I'm excited about that. So we'll get the matchup set. We'll sign a contract. We'll get our date set. I've already kind of started laying the foundation of a training camp, and I need to start laying the foundation of the visualization of what this thing's going to look like, because the problem is we don't know what the heck it's going to look like. It's going to be a brand new venue.
But here's what's got Chandler absolutely electric with excitement, and honestly, it's giving me chills just thinking about it. He's painting this picture of what fight night will actually look like, and it's unlike anything we've ever seen in combat sports. Imagine walking out from the Oval Office, emerging before tens of thousands of fans gathered to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. This isn't just a fight. This is a once-in-a-lifetime moment that transcends sports entirely. Chandler's already visualizing the experience, preparing mentally for a venue unlike any other in combat sports history. He's thinking beyond the actual fight itself and focusing on being part of something that will be talked about for generations. That uncertainty about opponents, it's not deterring him, it's intensifying his anticipation. Because whether he faces McGregor, Jon Jones, or someone completely unexpected, he's going to be part of the most unprecedented event combat sports has ever witnessed.
I think it's unfair to compare people to Conor McGregor. I really do. I don't think anybody will ever reach that level of stardom. But I believe if there isn't a category that you could compare Ilia to Conor and it'd be just, it's the fact that he had all that hype and he's lived up to it. I don't know that he ever becomes the star Conor does, but I believe he has lived up to the hype and the expectation at a level that was thrust on him from the moment he got to the UFC, and he should be very proud.
Now Daniel Cormier just added another explosive angle to this whole conversation that nobody saw coming. DC acknowledges that McGregor's star power is in a league entirely of its own, but then he points to Ilia Topuria as the one fighter who's come closest to matching and even exceeding the hype surrounding him. And this isn't about Topuria matching McGregor's global fame. That's impossible. This is about his ability to live up to sky-high expectations from day one in the UFC. Cormier's subtly stoking the idea of a potential showdown that would be absolutely explosive. McGregor's unmatched drawing power versus Topuria's rapidly accelerating momentum. Think about it. You've got the biggest star the sport's ever seen facing off against the featherweight champion who's never disappointed and always delivers on his promises. That's not just a fight. That's a collision between the sport's past and its future happening on the most historic stage imaginable.
Believe that Conor makes it to the White House? Let's just live with that theory, though. Will Conor be able to manipulate the media even after he doesn't make it? He has pretended that he's coming back for 5 years. If the White House comes and goes, can he pretend, oh, I didn't come there, but you'll see me in November, you'll see me next January, or will that be the final ruse of McGregor?
I think you are one of the few people that still believe Conor at times. You don't, most people don't, but you do. I remember that one time where I was laughing at you. I was like, chill. You're like the girlfriend, man, that just keeps going back every time. Dude, he's just a bad guy. Like, you know he doesn't deserve you. But every time he calls, you're like, you know what? Maybe he's changed. No, chill. Only you still believe that Conor's coming back. He doesn't go to the White House, it's done. Because here's the deal. Love it, hate it, love him or hate him. The White House card is going to be the biggest card we've ever had. But it can only be the biggest card that you will ever see if Conor McGregor is on the card. Am I wrong to say that?
No.
It can be the biggest. It'll be a stacked card. It'll be an amazing card. But the only way it's the biggest card.
Here's where both Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen are dropping some harsh reality that McGregor fans need to hear. They're making it crystal clear that if Conor somehow skips this White House card, then 5 years of comeback talk instantly becomes meaningless. Think about what we've endured: 5 years of cryptic social media posts, training videos, and teases about returning to the octagon. 5 years of McGregor masterfully dangling the idea of a comeback while never actually committing to anything concrete. But Cormier and Sonnen are unanimous. Words can only go so far. The White House stage isn't just another fight night, it's the ultimate statement, the moment that validates everything he's been hinting at for half a decade. Skip this opportunity, and the mystique dies. The aura that's kept him relevant despite not fighting since 2021 evaporates completely. Fans and fighters alike will stop taking his comeback talk seriously, and the legend risks becoming nothing more than a social media personality who used to fight. But Dan Hooker just threw out a suggestion that's got everyone talking, and it's brilliant in the most chaotic way possible. He's hinting that Paddy Pimblett could be the perfect opponent for McGregor on this White House stage. Now, before you laugh, hear him out. Hooker's highlighting how McGregor's unpredictability and relentless mental warfare make facing him unlike any other challenge in the sport. Finding the right opponent isn't just about matching skill sets. It's about finding someone who can handle the psychological pressure, absorb the weight of the hype, and actually thrive in the chaos that comes with facing McGregor. Pimblett's got that rare combination of confidence and mental toughness that could make for an absolutely electric matchup. Plus, you've got the Ireland versus England angle that writes its own storylines. Sometimes the most unexpected matchups create the most memorable moments, and Hooker might be onto something that nobody else is seeing. And here's where MMA journalist Ariel Helwani breaks down the cold, hard logistics that explain everything. McGregor hasn't fought in nearly 5 years, which severely limits the UFC's options for crafting a comeback that makes both financial and competitive sense. In Helwani's expert opinion, if McGregor steps into the octagon, a fight with Paddy Pimblett is realistic, though Michael Chandler remains the most logical choice. But here's what's really interesting. Helwani's mapping out the entire potential card. He's talking about Gane versus Topuria, discussing how other main eventers would need different opponents, and stressing that these intricate plans could change in countless unpredictable ways before fight night. The fact that serious journalists are already discussing full card possibilities tells you this isn't speculation anymore. This is active planning for an event that's closer to reality than anyone's officially admitting. So there you have it. McGregor's training without an opponent, Dana White's playing strategic silence, Trump's camp is talking like it's already happening, and fighters are positioning themselves for what could be the most historic combat sports event ever witnessed. This isn't just about one fight anymore. This is about money, legacy, and who gets to be part of something that transcends sports entirely. Whether it's Chandler getting his long-awaited payday, Topuria proving he's the sport's next megastar, or Pimblett shocking the world, one thing's guaranteed. June 14th is going to change everything. So here's my question for you, drop it in the comments. Who do you think actually has what it takes to face McGregor on the White House lawn? And do you believe this event is really going to happen, or is this just the greatest promotional tease in combat sports history? If this breakdown helped you understand what's really happening behind the scenes, smash that like button, subscribe for all the latest White House fight updates, and hit that notification bell because this story is about to explode in ways nobody's expecting. I'll see you in the next one. But here's what nobody's talking about that could completely derail this entire White House spectacle. The logistics of securing the most protected building in America for a combat sports event are absolutely mind-blowing. We're talking about Secret Service protocols that have never been tested for something like this. Think about it, they're going to have to coordinate security for potentially 50,000 screaming fans, international media crews, and some of the most recognizable athletes on the planet, all while maintaining presidential-level security standards. Former Secret Service agents are already raising eyebrows about how this could even work practically. You've got fighter entourages, cornermen, medical staff, broadcast equipment worth millions, and that's before we even consider the nightmare of getting everyone through security clearance. One former agent told me off the record that this would require security planning unlike anything they've ever attempted, and the margin for error is basically zero. And speaking of things that could go sideways, let's talk about what happens if McGregor actually loses on this stage. Dana White and the UFC are gambling everything on the assumption that Conor can deliver a performance worthy of the venue. But what if he can't? What if 5 years away from competition has taken more of a toll than anyone wants to admit? Imagine the most watched combat sports event in history ending with McGregor getting dominated or even knocked out cold on the White House lawn. That's not just a bad night for Conor. That's a public relations disaster that could haunt the sport for decades. The UFC would be explaining to casual fans who tuned in expecting to see a legend why their biggest star just got embarrassed on the world's biggest stage. It's a risk so massive that it explains why Dana's being so calculated about opponent selection, and why every conversation keeps circling back to finding someone McGregor can actually beat convincingly. Here's another angle that's got insiders whispering. The international implications of this event are absolutely staggering. We're not just talking about American viewers anymore. This White House card is being positioned as a global spectacle that could draw viewers from every corner of the planet. Countries that have complicated relationships with American politics might suddenly find themselves captivated by combat sports on American soil. McGregor alone brings massive European audiences, but add the right opponents, and you're looking at viewership numbers that could shatter every record ever set. Sports diplomacy experts are already suggesting this could be one of the most effective soft power displays in recent history. When you combine America's 250th anniversary celebration with the world's most popular combat sports athletes, you're creating a cultural moment that transcends politics and reaches people who might never otherwise engage with American celebrations. But hold up, because there's a financial element to this that's making everyone's head spin. The production costs for a White House combat sports event are going to be absolutely astronomical. We're talking about custom-built infrastructure, specialized security requirements, broadcast technology that can handle the unique challenges of the venue, and insurance policies that probably don't even exist yet. Industry insiders are estimating that the upfront investment could exceed anything the UFC has ever attempted. But here's the kicker. The potential revenue makes those costs look like pocket change. Pay-per-view numbers could hit levels that seemed impossible just a few years ago. International broadcast rights are going to be worth fortunes. Sponsorship opportunities are unlike anything combat sports has ever offered. Corporate partners are already lining up for association with what could become the most memorable sports marketing moment in decades. And here's what's really got my attention: the ripple effects this White House card could have on the entire combat sports landscape. If this event succeeds the way everyone's projecting, it completely redefines what's possible for future events. Other promotions are already scrambling to figure out how they could create their own historic venue spectacles. Boxing promoters are exploring iconic locations they never considered before. The success of this event could trigger an arms race of increasingly ambitious venue selections that pushes the entire industry toward bigger, more theatrical presentations. We might be witnessing the moment when combat sports fully transitions from athletic competition to global entertainment spectacle. Future historians might look back at June 14th as the day everything changed about how we present and consume combat sports. Now here's a perspective that's been completely overlooked in all this excitement. What about the fighters who won't make it onto this card? The UFC roster is packed with elite athletes who have been grinding for years, taking every fight offered, building their careers one victory at a time. How do you think they feel watching potentially inactive legends get handed spots on the most historic card ever? The resentment building behind the scenes is real, and it's justified. Active contenders who have earned title shots through merit are watching their opportunities get overshadowed by comeback stories and celebrity matchups. This White House event might create the most memorable night in combat sports history, but it's also exposing the fundamental tension between entertainment value and competitive integrity that's been brewing in the sport for years. Some of the hardest working fighters in the world might be watching from home, while social media stars and inactive legends get the spotlight. But here's what's absolutely fascinating about McGregor's mindset heading into all this uncertainty. His social media presence has completely shifted in recent weeks. Gone are the random luxury posts and cryptic training videos. Everything he's sharing now has this focused, almost obsessive energy that we haven't seen from him in years. He's posting training footage that looks genuinely intense, not just performative content for his brand. The man seems to understand that this White House opportunity isn't just another payday. It's potentially his last chance to remind the world why he became the biggest star combat sports has ever produced. There's something different about his preparation this time, something that suggests he knows exactly what's at stake. Whether he ends up fighting Chandler, Topuria, Pimblett, or someone completely unexpected, McGregor appears to be approaching this with the seriousness of someone who understands this could define his entire legacy.